Hi, I'm Rebecca.
I'm Lelia.
And we are booksellers at One More Page Books in Arlington, Virginia. And we are back with another Boozy Booksellers video.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo! So we have been at Chase and Tails next door, and we had a fishbowl. And then a shot of Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey Whiskey. So we're doing great today. So we're gonna tell you about some books that we are excited about. So my first pick that I'm really excited about is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This comes out July 5th from Green Willow Books, and it's so good, y'all. This is the latest YA from the hardest working author in show business.
For real
though. Victoria Schwab also writes adult fantasy fiction under the name V.E. Schwab, and she's in the middle of her Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Plus this book, which is the first in a duology, and I'm pretty sure she has another one coming out very soon. So, what are you doing, girl? You're doing amazing things. This Savage Song takes place in a futuristic dystopian U.S. In this world, the physical act of violence creates monsters. It creates physical monsters. And so the capital city is in the middle of the Civil War, sort of territorial conflict. And the two main characters, Kate Harker and August Flynn, are on opposite sides of this conflict. So Kate is the daughter of a mob boss who has sort of thrown his lot in with the monsters. And August Flynn is the almost too human son of the guy who is trying to protect the rest of the city from the monsters. So Kate and August find themselves thrown together after this deliberate attack, and so they have to figure out who to trust and who, how to stay alive and all of these things, and it's so good. It's so good. If you don't like morality, this is the one for you. This is a book for you. Like, no one is truly good and no one is truly evil, which I think is the most interesting thing that you can do with characters. So, This Savage Song, Victoria Schwab, it comes out in July.
Speaking of monsters, that's such a great segue. Monsters, a Love Story by Liz Kay. Guys, I read an adult book. Yeah, that's right. That happened. I mean, let's be real. This book was made for me. It's my favorite colors. There's a picture of this on my bedspread. I put it on Instagram. You can just see. This is like these colors. Instagram that. And
can we swear in this video?
I don't know. I was going to ask that. This book blew my mind. So at first you're like, oh, this is like a nice rom-com, like beach read. It comes out in June, so you're like, yeah, beach read. And then you're like, this book has some teeth. Let me tell you. Ooh. It's like, oh, yeah, it's like a romance between these two characters, this narcissistic Hollywood playboy and this self-proclaimed feminist poet/widow. And then you're like, wait, though. So they work together to adapt her novel in verse into a screenplay, right? And, like, that can only end well. It's one of those books where, like, it's so quick to read and it just sucks you right in, but then you're like, I feel like there's some themes happening here that, like, maybe I'm not super picking up on 100%.
Symbolism.
Yeah, it's like there are all these Frankenstein. Her novel in verse is a modern, like, Frankenstein retelling, and so there's this hella literary symbolism, but you're also like, but this is great, I love it, but maybe I should think more about it. And so the characters are you're reading this book, you're like, they're so self-destructive and selfish and making terrible decisions. But the whole time you're like, I hope those two crazy kids make it work. And then you're like, but maybe I shouldn't? Like, am I the problem? Is that the point of this book? Oh my God. And then you're just like, was super into this book, you guys. Monsters, awesome. Love Story, Liz Kay. Comes out in June.
Awesome.
From Putnam. Boom.
My next pick is a book I read earlier this year. I read it in like January, February. And I had been reading an incredibly, like, dense, tough, challenging book. And when I finally finished it, it was like 600 pages. I was like, I need something totally different. So my next pick is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock, which came out in February. I think it was February 23rd from Wendy Lamb Books. And this book was beautiful, y'all. Like, first of all, peep this cover. Like, What?
Yeah, that's nice.
I know, right? I'm just gonna hold it
That's
like
really
right over
nice.
your face. And so, it follows 4 teenagers in Fairbanks, Alaska in 1970. So already I knew nothing about this, like, this world at all. Like, I'm from North Carolina. I don't know jack about Alaska. So it follows these 4 teenagers, and at first they don't really seem to have all that much in common, like, between the 4 of them. But as the book goes on, it's sort of, each character has to deal with their own troubles and the people in their lives, and they sort of come together and intertwine and intermingle in ways that you would not expect, and in ways that they definitely don't expect. But I adored this book. It took me completely by surprise. It's so beautifully written, and it's so real. And it's also, it deals with really hard stuff to talk about. Like, it deals with alcoholism and abuse and poverty and teen pregnancy in ways that didn't make me angry. Like, so many books that deal with those types of stuff can turn into poverty porn so easily, and it makes me furious. But this doesn't do that, and above all, it's hopeful, which I also don't think that those types of books are. Like, a lot of times it's like, you are pregnant, and now you die, and your house burns down, and, you know, someone gets hit by a bus, and I'm like, I don't want to read this. But this book is so beautiful, it's hopeful, and it's wonderful, and it's lovely, and you should all read it. Smell of Other People's Houses, Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. Go forth.
Last time I talked about Hope in Red by John Scovern, which I was really excited for. And guess what? Now I'm reading it, guys. Dreams do come true.
It has a cover now.
And also, I love that one of the main characters, Hope, is in, like, this battle armor that's not, like,
boob armor.
Boobs, yeah. So
Yes.
I'm really in favor of that. This book is amazing. It's so much more than everything that I wanted in it. It's like pirates and sassiness and all kinds of just charming thievery. I'm so into it, and I'm only halfway through it. So, but, like, my favorite thing about it is that, like, every storyline in it is just, like, I'm gonna use a visual aid right now. But, like, so watch this. Boom! That's right.
Boom!
That's right. John Scovern's like, what's that? You think you know about gender stereotypes? Because I'm going to just blow that wide open.
Ooh, you are swearing all over the place tonight.
I mean,
usually this is my problem.
I am who I am. Hope in Red is so great, you guys. Just to mark that on your calendars for June. Again, just reiterating
June's
that.
a big month,
June
yeah.
is June. Lots of things are happening in June. So yeah, that's from Orbit. John Scovern, Hope in Red. Boom.
Woo! All right, so my last pick, it is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And I tried so many times to read Jane Eyre when I was younger, and I think I wasn't ready. I also, like, you know, was in a very sort of like, oh, Jane's a Mary Sue, like, she's too wholesome, blah, 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 which is not accurate in any way. And Mary Sue is a terrible term, and no one should use it. Past Rebecca. Ugh.
But this PSA brought to you by One More Page Books.
By One More Page Books. So I'm about 100, I am exactly 100 pages in to this book, and I am really, really loving it. Like, Jane has a lot more, you know, oomph to her than I had given her credit for. Like, she is this little 10-year-old girl, and she gets asked, Jane, how do you intend to avoid hell? And Jane is like, not die. Which I think is the greatest
Boom! That's a great response.
Ever. I will probably, at a later video, tell everyone how I feel about this, but I'm really enjoying it. So, Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte. Everyone should read it. Great.
Guys, big day today. I read a nonfiction book, or I'm currently reading it, I should say. Let's not count our chickens before they're hatched, okay? So, Chuck Klosterman, if you guys have heard of him, he is a really funny author, and he writes nonfiction. He did I Wear the Black Hat, and his new one is called But What If We're Wrong? So, his first chapter is like, guys, but gravity could be a lie.
Whoa! What? I'm not prepared for this.
Real talk right now. It could be everything we know could be false about gravity. He's like, yeah, we think we know what it is, but do we though? And then you're paralyzed in fear because you're
so
like,
upset
if we're
right
wrong
now
about gravity, we could be wrong about so many
Everything
things.
I know is false.
But, like, I love that his whole premise is basically like, yeah, you go ahead and predict the future, but you're gonna be wrong 99% of the time. Because there's some factor that's going to come in and change the game and be like, JK, the future is entirely different. Like the internet. Like in the, 19 whatever's before there was internet. People were like, no, there's no way that, like, there's going to be some kind of app where you could just, like, click one button and it delivers tissue boxes to your house. Like, no one thought that. But guess what?
Is that real?
What we live right now.
Yeah,
you can do that on Voldemort for sure. You're just like, click Kleenex, and then they're like,
Voldemort's our name for
drone.
Amazon.
I forgot about the drones. Them drones.
Them drones, though.
So I'm really digging this book. Like, it's easy enough that I can understand it, and it's funny, and it's also like, ha ha ha, be afraid. This also comes out in June.
Just waiting for you. That's great.
That's all that I have for you.
That's awesome. So I think we're probably out of time.
Metaphorically and literally.
Would you stop? Take your evil self out of here. Anyway, is a quick update from your friendly neighborhood Boozy Booksellers. And yeah, so let us know what books you guys are excited for, what books you're reading.
Or if you want to know where we got these boas.
Yeah, or, whatever. I don't know. I need to stop talking. Bye!